We are live in a VO's journey. My name is Anthony Pica. This show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep some of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Happy Tuesday! We made it to Tuesday. It is, March 17th, and we're still here. We are still kicking. I hope you are doing well, and, with everything going on, it is pretty wild with all of the changes that our world is seeing and everything. I thought it would be a really good time to talk about emotional intelligence. And, I had a wonderful coaching session this morning with one of my students, and we were just talking about this very thing. We got into the discussion about how we know what to do. We know the things that work, whether it's life in general or, our business. We know the things that we need to do, but a lot of times we struggle with just doing them. And if we could only get out of our way for whatever reason and do the actions, the results take care of themselves. So, I'd like to take a moment to talk about emotional intelligence and how this plays a part and whether you're being successful or not being successful with your business, and now especially more than ever. So when we talk about emotional intelligence, it's an interesting fact, or they say that when you are guided, right, we've guided kind of by two parts of our brain, right? We've got our logical part and we've got our emotional part. And, when we think of things, we make rational decisions. That's our calm, calculating, planning type of decision-making process in our brain. But when we have the emotional part that takes over, our emotions some people say 100 times stronger than our logical part. So that's why, like, when we're mad or we're afraid, those emotions make us do things where we don't think clearly. We don't make the best decisions. We're not as successful as we could. Now, I'm talking about decision making and action as opposed to, as opposed to maybe the enthusiasm, right? Because, emotions can fire you up to take action. But I think what I'm getting at here is that, when we are afraid or when we're worried, whether it's about the coronavirus or it's about our businesses, we tend to lead by our emotions. And it's not just during this time. It's throughout our lives. We either are people who let our emotions dictate who we are and what we do and the actions we need to take, or we look at our emotions as something separate. And I like to say to you today that we are going to need to do this, especially for growing our voiceover businesses, growing our reach to people, and keeping everything in our world moving forward. We're going to need to take our emotions and our feelings. We never get rid of them, but we need to take them and we need to step back and look at them. And we need to try our hardest to accept that we're going to be having a whole range of emotions. We're going to be feeling all sorts of things. We're going to be afraid. We're going to be nervous. We're going to be scared. Okay? We're going to be, what if something does start happening with my business? What if I can't get any work? And then, of course, no one's hiring right now. It's not like I'm going to get a job somewhere else. All right? Unless I find an Amazon, because I know I saw they're hiring like 100,000 people. All right? But then are you going to want to go to work in a factory, right? I digress. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that fear can control us. And we need to look at it as if it's there, if it's going to make us feel uncomfortable, it's going to make us feel scared. But we need to separate ourselves from it, accept that we're going to feel a certain way, but move forward on the things that we know we need to move forward on. Does that make sense? That means it's accepting that we are going to feel bad. It's accepting that we could be sick. It's accepting these things, but not letting them stop us from doing the things that we know we have to do. I think we all come to times in our lives where we look at the landscape or the things happening and we say, if only I could do X, if only I could do this, if only I could do that, if I could just stay the course, do these actions repetitively, I know I would be successful. It's funny because you think about all of the books and the literature and the movies and the writings, everything out there about being successful, about taking inspiration and moving forward, taking action. All of there's so much out there. There's so much self-help books out there. Amazing ones. And most of them, if not, nearly all of them, if you followed the advice, would actually help you. So if that's really the problem, the knowledge, right, the logical side, that should be solved because there's millions of those books out there. We all know that. I've listened to a good amount of them. But that's not the problem. The problem is that we are letting emotions guide our decisions without stopping and looking at them as their own sort of person, if you will. Right? It really matters. But see, here's the thing, and I think this is what gets me. Sometimes you fear or you feel like when someone says something like I am, they're like, well, I can't turn off my emotions. I can't stop from feeling that way. I can't stop from panicking. I can't stop having anxiety. I turn on the news and I feel like I'm sick by just watching the news. And then it takes me a day to feel better until I turn on the news again and I feel sick again. I don't know if any of that happens to you guys, but it happens to me. Okay? The thing is that that's never going to go away. What we need to do our best of is accept it. First, come out and accept it. Say to yourself, I'm going to feel this way. And it sucks. It sucks to feel this way. It really does. But removing yourself for a moment, step back and say, that's how I feel. This is my life. These are things that I can do to move forward and still feel this way, but push myself. It would be like push-ups and sit-ups, just to use a perfect example. Like, I know, like, if I do, we all know, right? If we do push-ups and sit-ups every single day, we're going to tighten up some, feel better, but we don't. When it takes just a few seconds to do them. We don't because emotionally we feel that we know we're going. We don't feel like it because we know it's going to be painful. We know we're going to be frustrated. We can't do more. We know we don't want to bend down and do the put. There's all of these emotions and feelings come into it. Whereas if you separate it and by the time you stop feeling all these emotions, like our parents used to say, we could have been done already. But the whole idea with being done already is because logically we are struggling with that. We live in a world where it's all about making sure that we're doing everything we can to feel better and to feel good. And I'm not saying that our goal isn't to better our situations. It always is. But in this sense, we are going to have these problems come up. I don't know if we're ever going to see something like this again in our lifetimes or our children's lifetimes. This is something that's happening right now in the world that is unprecedented. We know that. We are aware of it now. We see that. Unless you've been under a rock, there's no thing that has ever happened like this that I know of. Now, I think a lot of it also has to do with our interconnectedness, so we know what's going on around the world. But it is definitely different, unsettling, uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable about it. It really sucks. I don't know what the future holds. But if I stop and think about it, and if you stop and think about it, when did we ever know what the future held? When did we ever know not going into a crowded place with other people could get us some sort of illness that could kill us? When did we ever not know that, coughing on, going somewhere where people are coughing or sneezing or having a fever was going, we were in a more of a chance to contract something bad? We knew these things before, but yet something told us that it was still okay to move forward. That's because logically we understood that no matter what that is, we need to make the right decisions to protect ourselves from those situations, but we still have to move forward. Now, this thing we're dealing with is really highly contagious, right? We understand that. And there's going to be a lot of problems, more so in the world, and it's just getting worse at the moment. Some places it's getting better, but most of the places it's getting worse. We have to accept that. And we've got to continue to push forward. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let feeling like you're not feeling good stop you. Of course, I'm not talking about if you need to go see the doctor or something like that. I'm just talking about the emotional part of all of this, because our emotions are so strong, they can trick our minds, our bodies into feeling ways and to manifesting actual symptoms too. Now, I'm not going to go down the path of panicking and anxiety, because those are real things. I've had anxiety. I've had panic issues throughout my life. Most of us have. Okay? But I'm talking about removing those moments or those things and just looking at them and saying, okay, I know you're there. I know it's here, but I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to put my head down and keep moving forward. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing the things I need to do. I'm going to keep putting my services out there. I'm going to keep helping people. I'm going to stay positive even though I'm scared out of my freaking mind. All right? And then you look at it though. What am I scared about? What is going to happen? None of us wants to get sick. None of us wants our family members to get sick. And heaven forbid someone die. Never ever does any of us want that. But that doesn't mean that we have to stop everything. We've got to continue to move forward. And for tying this all into our businesses and with emotional intelligence, it's imperative to realize that we are emotional people that are ruled by our emotions. When our emotions take over, it is nearly impossible. It is impossible to think rationally and logically. Our emotions are so much stronger. So how do we combat that? We combat that by being aware that they are so strong and consistently taking a look at what is happening with them, what they are doing. I'm not saying that this makes them magically go away, and I'm not saying that you're going to feel better. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that during these times, we have got to push ourselves to keep going. When you don't get something, you've got to push yourself to keep going. When you're seeing horrible things happening, you've got to keep going. Because we will come out of this. History has taught us we will come out of all of this. But when we come out of it right now, what we do right now will determine how we come out of it. All right, so that's my little spiel for today. Let's take a look and see. I want to welcome everybody from Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. It's great to have you guys. Let's see, we've got Wolf Creek Training and Consulting in the house. What's up? I know it's been a while. It's good to have you. Flip, good to see you. Samir, thank you. Too Rich to Miss, great to have you. Thank you. Let's see, Samir, let the fear fuel you, not impair you. Absolutely, absolutely. Big Jim, great topic. Thank you. It's scary. It is scary now because there's so many more unknowns, especially with everything shutting down. I've never, you turn on the TV and it's regular now to hear, some country has shut down, their entire locked out the world. Like, this is normal stuff, who would have, months ago, we never would have even considered this, and actually all the horrible, and the awful things that happened in China first, when you're on the other side of the world, it doesn't seem to affect you as much, right? Then when it's right on your doorstep, it's quite different. It's very scary. We've had a couple deaths now in our city here in James and where I live, and it's scary, right? It is scary. What's interesting is that if you stop and think about it, though, and this, again, it's horrible. It's horrible. People have not stopped dying from everything else. It is a sad and horrible thing about life, but, and so I'm just saying that it's important for us to look at it objectively so that we can keep moving forward and help other people who are struggling moving forward. And we all are positioned in a way where we are uniquely able to help people communicate. And I think communication now is one of the best things. I have to tell you, I watched earlier today, finally, I was watching a video about someone actually explaining what the coronavirus does and the different things that happen. I had not heard anyone actually explain yet what happens throughout the process, whether you're mildly ill, whether you're more ill. I hadn't heard any of that. And it was the first time I'd heard it. And the knowledge, when we know things, we are able to live with them. It's the not knowing that is freaking everyone out. Right? We don't know when something else is going to close. We don't know when, something else is going to say, you can't do this. We don't know when, heaven forbid, you can't leave your house. We don't know when there's a curfew. You can't go out past, 10 p.m. You're only allowed to go to, I can't remember what country it was, but there is something where you're only allowed to go to the grocery store for 30 minutes and then you got to come home. That's when you're allowed out. We don't know any of that stuff. It's like the world's been turned upside down. So to keep moving forward, take all of that emotion and fear and anxiety and confusion and look at it. Look at it. Acknowledge it. Don't run away from it. It is a part of who we are. It is powerful. Be aware of it, but also remember that there are other things that we can keep doing to move forward. And move forward. Just move forward. Just move forward. I would never presume to tell anybody you can just shut off your emotions. To do that, I to say that I think is silly. But moving forward with your emotions, the awareness and the acceptance that we feel this way, that's the best emotional intelligence you can have. All right. Let's see. Hey, Anthony, when did we ever know? So very true. Fear is a powerful influence, but logic and critical thinking must prevail. Awesome. Let's keep it chugging along. Absolutely, Marcus. Thank you, my friend. Angela. Hi, Angela. Let's see. Ayato. Thank you, my friend. Let's see. Wolf Creek, how do I get a boxy sound out of my recording due to my M95? Wolf Creek, what in the world? You act like this is a show about voiceover. What's wrong with you? I like that. You kind of pulled us back out of it. So if you think boxiness lives around 500 hertz, right in between that area, and if you want to try to get out boxiness sounds out of that, start looking at those frequencies, between 400 to 600 hertz or whatever around there, and start to reduce some of those frequencies and see what you can do. Okay? And that's a good place to start getting rid of boxiness, okay? All right, Zach, let's see. Hello, I hope you are well. Thanks, my friend. Luis, great topic, Anthony. Thanks for the great content as always. Thank you, Luis. I appreciate it. William Pix. Thank you, William. That's my son, for all of you who didn't realize that. They're all home. The Pika children are home, and he's watching me. Thank you for supporting me, son. Okay, Ayato, I hate the hoarder mentality thing of other people. I had to buy like a whole case of It took me forever on Amazon to find like a huge case of toilet paper because everything was out. So hopefully they deliver this massive commercial box of toilet paper, and I had to pay for it just because I couldn't find any other toilet paper anywhere. You're absolutely right. Samir, I just got laid off because of this, but I'm going to take this time to move forward in my journey. Samir, I'm so sorry, and I fear that it's going to happen to a lot of people. Quite honestly, I don't know how many I can't imagine how restaurants and even small businesses can stay open. I mean, you can't just cut off money, especially with places that didn't have enough savings to deal with this and continue to pay people. It's going to be really hard. And I think no matter what anyone says, this is going to have ripple effects for years to come. Never have we shut down the world. I mean, just listen to that. I mean, that's what's happening. We're shutting down the world. Fortunately, there is part of it still going, which is the life of the internet. And I think that this is going to force us as well to do so much more over the internet. It's going to force us to do so much more e-commuting. It's going to force us to do so much more. It's a crazy time. It's a crazy time. Let's see. They won't turn off power during this, so stay strong, bud. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Yes, that's true. Sorry, I was reading. Yes, I did see that. So they've mandated like power stays on and things like that. So I mean, there's going to be a lot happening, and there's going to, we have to have faith in each other, and that's scary too, because it's been a long time since we've had faith in each other. Let's be honest. That's another scary thing. But what's interesting too? Out of everything that's happened, it's incredible and incredibly sad. But it is incredible how quickly we can come together. And I hope that from all of this, too, people realize we can work together. We can. All right. For perspective, how much freedom we use to have and we close ourselves off from the foreseeable future. I know I took it for granted. Make sure you take care of your senior family members. Absolutely, Simone. Wolf Creek, we've been following this since January 10th. I actually wear my mask every time I leave the farm. Shelly. Hi, Shelly. Do you miss your theater education friends? Well, Shelly, I miss you. And I do. I'm very happy that I'm in this line of work, though. I love what I do. And I feel like I can actually help a lot more people doing this. So thank you. Good question, Shelly. Ayato, their mouths backed up, so order ahead. Their months backed up. Okay. Oh, yeah, for the restaurants can deliver only. And that's another thing, too, with restaurants. I was looking at delivery as well, but then I thought, well, how do you know the people who are preparing the food are sick? I mean, the fear can just continue on and on. There will come a moment, again, where we have got to stop and just accept the fact again that no matter what we do, we can do best practices, washing our hands, all these things that we knew before. It's not like they've told us anything new either, right? It's not like there's this special secret we didn't know about before all this started. I mean, I knew washing my hands my whole life was a good thing to not to get sick. But we're going to have to somehow get past the fear again that, every contact is the end. It's definitely something we're going to have to work through, and there's going to be time. I mean, travel's another thing. I don't want to go anywhere. Let's see. Great topic, Anthony. As much as we think we make business decisions with our head, emotions play a bigger role. Our customers are dealing with the same things we are and feeling emotions. Absolutely. Troy, the virus may drive up home-based businesses, which can only increase VO work. New opportunities will come. Well, I mean, Troy, the thing is that's, there's, when things like this happen, it gives, we're in a place where we can help people. I don't know how many other businesses are positioned this well with what we are doing to be able to help more and more people. And people are going to need that help now more than ever. You're absolutely right, because people are going to be looking at working from home. Businesses are going to be looking, how could they continue to make money from home from e-commute over the internet. So yes, our services are going to be in high demand. I ask that, from all of us, and I know that I love the voiceover community so much. And we're all, it's such a caring group of people. Remember that too, though. Don't take advantage of people. Try to help as many as you can, because there are a lot of scared people who are very unfamiliar with what we do every day. This is very familiar. The online world has become my home now. Like my home away from home. Whereas before, it was very unfamiliar to me. Social media, everything has become so familiar to me now, where before it wasn't. And it was quite daunting. So there's a lot of people coming into that. Let's see. A lot of awesome comments today. Let's see. The virus major. How do you feel about recording VO on the Rodecaster Pro using the Rode NT1? Built-in processing sounds really good, and FX processing on board. I like it. And listen, the Rodecaster Pro, the mic's fantastic. I really recommend you focus more on your space at that point, because you have some good gear. All right, both of they're good. It's good stuff. Okay. The NT1A, that was like my second mic. All right, and it's good. They're good stuff. It's good stuff, but the space that you're in really plays a pivotal role in what that great microphone picks up. You know what I mean? Marcus, then come on ISPs. We need better connectivity here in the boonies. That's true. The connectivity is going to be the thing. I think about broadband, how hopefully the service providers that people have, they're going to have such high demand, so hopefully they're prepared. That's going to be another thing. It's bad they closed all non-essential businesses in PA. Not the Rode NT1A, but the Rode NT1. No, I understand. I was just telling you that I had the Rode NT1A. Yeah. Shelly, I miss you too. Thank you. Keep moving forward. You too, Shelly. I'm in OA. Wolf, I'm not sure what that means. E-learning is going to be huge in the future. That's my direction. It's huge. Oh, PA. Yeah, I got you. Sorry, Iato. And Wolf Creek, you're right. E-learning is going to be massive. And yes, there's online things for students, but that doesn't replace the millions of students who are out of work. And then look at all the food. One thing that is shocking. I've been in the education business for a long time. My wife's in the education business, so we know that how pivotal, how vital schools are to communities, especially people, low-income families, children who are homeless, children who have a hard time finding meals. It's so important. And those people are still working hard to make sure that those people are still getting meals. There's so many different changes going on. How can we help there? Can we do public service announcements? There's so many things that we can do to help. It's important to put yourselves out there and offer that help. And yes, we can be paid for our services, absolutely. But don't use the time to, jack up prices and do things like that. Let's see. Hideo Kojima predicted this. No gamers here may not get it. Okay, sorry. Sorry, been home too much. Nah, wash your hands, people. Rubber ducky, you're the one. Marcus, me too, Wolf Creek. I've been putting a medical e-learning direction in a long time. Perfect opportunity to start, even though I will look at trying leech off the virus. Yeah, we're not, it's not leeching. We're helping. It's leeching if you are trying to take advantage of people. And that's why I'm trying to tell you, don't, help. We're trying to help people. Offer discounted rates. Do what you can to help people through this time. I've been doing lots of phone messaging for the coronavirus. I've been doing lots of public announcements for the coronavirus. I've been doing video work for the coronavirus. I've been doing lots of stuff for the coronavirus. Businesses popping up, trying to, offer services to help people through this time. It's again, another time. We are resilient people. We will get through this and figure out ways. All right. Studio One, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Chuck, my man, it's good to have you, buddy. Jeff, we're over on Instagram. Kurt, what's up, my man? Good to see you. Johnny, thank you. Kurt says, given that they'll probably see an influx of people who are new to VoiceOver and new to Fiverr, what are some of the things we need to include in our description, FAQs, to help them navigate? Kurt, that's a wonderful thing. Think about that. I was just looking through Fiverr this morning again, with some of my students, and we were talking about some of the things. Start searching around. You know what's going on. Okay, you know what's happening. You know what people are going to need because we need it ourselves as families. We know what we're going to need. Try to help and offer a solution to the best we can, right? That's so important right now to do. All right, let's try. We're probably going to wrap this thing up here. Michael says, thanks for the answer. I build a whisper room. Wolf Creek, hey Marcus, we are doing a lot more e-learning and we even did a COVID-19 training for nursing students. That's another thing, right? I mean, how much training needs to be for, like I told you about seeing a video today that I didn't even really understand all the different steps and what most people get who don't, who have it but are mild, and what mild means as opposed to what happens when people are really struggling to stay alive. I'd never seen anything like that. All the news I watched, no one's ever explained it, or not that I've seen. So, the knowledge like that is so important because it's like, again, the more we know, the more we can accept and live with. But it's all the stuff that we don't know that freaks us all out. It's just who we are. Again, don't run away from it. Accept it. Look at it. Move it over here. Take it with you because it cannot go away. Because it is a part of who we are. And it's important to feel. But also remember, we've got to continue to think logically. It doesn't change the facts, but don't forget the facts. Fear in groups is the worst illogical thing imaginable. All right. Let's see. A few more things. I always wanted to help. That's why I work on So Hard on Books. They don't pay well, but they teach me tons. Absolutely. Best everyone stay safe. I want to thank everybody so much for watching today. If you get a chance, please go ahead and like, subscribe. We're so close to 1,000 subs on YouTube. I think maybe 15 away. We're so close. It'd be such a neat thing. And I want to thank all of you so much for being a part of this journey and continuing to be a part of this journey. We have quite a road ahead of us. And we are going to face it head on, and we can do it together as a community. So thank you all. Have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow for another live session on a VO's journey. All right, you guys. Have a good one. Goodbye.